Hello guys, it's us again. Thanks for tuning in. It's the first day of the main event at the International. Better said, it's the end of the first day. It wasn't a good one for China, for sure. But about that, we're going to discuss about that a bit later, right? Should we start with the good part of this first day with the upper bracket?
Should we, or should we talk about even the opening ceremony, perhaps?
I mean, yeah, it wasn't what we expected, or what we are used to.
Yeah, I think the highlights were we had Lindsay Sterling and JJ Lin again. That was kind of nice to see, but that was probably the extent of the theatrics, because normally we get some acrobats, some drummers, some crazy stuff going on. Yeah, we kind of missed out on that. But I did like that they gave a pretty tasteful nod to what happened with COVID and it being delayed. I thought that was kind of tasteful. I'm glad to see that they addressed it that way. We didn't just kind of gloss over and pretend it didn't happen, and here we are and going into it. So I did think that was a wise move on their end. So, but yeah, definitely didn't quite have the same theatrics, but I still definitely got chills. It definitely felt like the beginning of TI.
What I hated the most was that it's with no crowd, because I'm pretty sure if that happened with a crowd, you know, and a bit more, or some theatrics or some acrobatics or some show, just, you know, a small one, then it would have been amazing. But yeah, the chills were there, and I even cried a bit to some of the photos that were slideshowing before the show started. It is what it is, I guess, and I don't know. I don't think we can change anything by complaining all day about what's going on with the stream.
No, and I'm glad just, you know, we had something, and I think it was still exciting. It definitely set the scene. I felt excited to get ready for those first matches. I definitely felt like we were here for TI. It was time. So yeah, so it for me, it set the stage still. It definitely made me feel like I was ready for those first matches. And the first matches were Team Spirit versus IG. And it was our longest series that we had for the day, because it went to 3 games. I thought it was
lucky those who believed and put their fantasy cards from this series, you know, because you always want the longest series with the players from the fantasy. But very pleasant surprise from Team Spirit, although they lost. That first game was something special, and I think it has something to do with the fact that they actually don't have experience on the TI stage, and you know, they are not worried about things. They don't. It didn't happen to them, you know. They didn't really lost on the TI stage until now, so they don't know what's coming after that mentally and everything. So yeah, they played like crazy, and they surprised IG, right? I mean, Yatoro dies in front of the base, going like in a pub, you know, way too far ahead in front of his base, dies, and 2 minutes later he finds a DD, and this is it. They won the game. That was insane.
Yeah. And that was kind of the team spirit that I was hoping to see back after their first day of groups, where they kind of had a pretty disappointing start. This kind of redeemed it again, brought those feelings back where people kind of fell in love with them at Anna Major and everything. And, you know, they ended up getting to a 3-game series, the first series of TI. It was pretty exciting to see this kind of dark horse underdog team, you know, take the first game at TI. So there was
delivered the first rampage of the main event, and Yatoro is now just one of the very few with a rampage in the main event. Careful, it's rampage in the main event. In the playoffs, we had a lot of rampages at TI, but just like 4 or 5 players had a rampage in the main event, right? in the playoffs. I even saw a tweet about that.
Yeah,
it was Mu at
it's
TI3, Hao at TI5, Am at TI7, and Thompson at TI9. That's all, you know. And now Yatoro at his first TI,
wow.
19 years old. Wow, congrats.
Yeah, he's in a nice short list there of
Yeah.
company. But yeah, that was kind of the opening I was hoping for overall for TI. And then we went into what seemed to be, of course, you know, the grudge match and pretty excited high caliber Dota with teams Secret and OG, which was really exciting to see. And Seb without his eye patch, you know. That first game, the fights, I thought were kind of what I was hoping to see, but then I don't know, the whole series just kind of became lackluster after that. It wasn't exactly what I had hyped it up in my mind to be. Your thoughts?
My thoughts, I just hope that they have more than this IO offlane. I kind of understand, I hope I understand the concept of it, because right now you want to play very fast with some super, you know, tanky or beefy or an offlaner that can create a lot of chaos. He's also the playmaker right now. He's not just the, you know, the person that farms 40 minutes in the offlane. And I guess IO gives them that super aggressive stance, but I guess it's on a timing as well, and that happened in that secret game. At some point you just beat it. And if you don't hit the timing, I guess you lose. And that's why I hope that they have more than this IO offlane with them. For the second game, I was like, it was pretty obvious to me that Secret were looking for like nuke damage and lane control, you know, super hard. And yeah, that was a less than 30-minute game with 42-4 in Secret's favor. I mean, man, that's awful for a TI main event.
Yeah, that was not the second game I was hoping or expecting to see, or the way to end that series. So that I'm hoping that, like you said, there'll be something else that they'll pull out of their pockets for their next series, and we'll see a bit better from them. You know, I mean, imagine going in with all of the pressure and the hype and everything of this three-peat of Seb's, you know, potential not playing, then coming in. All of these things have happened, and then, you know, they get to the main stage and it just like, what happened here? So it would be really sad to see it end on this kind of continuation. So I'm hoping, you know, maybe pull it a little bit more together, maybe some different strats, maybe a talk with
Strange to me because, we had these press conferences with the teams, and I actually asked No-Tail, do you have a plan B for the lower bracket? Because you've never been to lower bracket, you know, since TI7. He said, no need, man. He was so confident, no need. Oops, you know.
Yeah, well, I guess they have tonight.
We'll find out tomorrow, of course.
Right. So, but they're still in it. So, you know, that's the good news. They're still in it. They're still, you know, can they deal well usually with pressure, with adversity. So, hey, this can still be their storyline. But unfortunately for 4 other teams, they're not still in it. After today. So that was, you know, that's always sad. That's always, oh my God, it's always, the loser interviews are always heartbreaking. It's one of those things I hate to watch, but you know, you have to. And of course, it's a part of it all. But 4 teams did go home today. The first one we saw today was Undying and Fnatic.
Yeah, and Fnatic were just like 100 classes above Undying. And I think we have to go back to the lack of sponsorship in NA, to the conditions that they have. You compare these 2 teams, Fnatic and Undying, 5 players from Fnatic with a huge organization behind, with performance coaches, with psychologists, with coaches, with, you know, Sambil next to them. And then you have Undying, who by some random luck, they got their jerseys just today, for instance. So
Yeah.
when
Cursed
when you
jerseys.
don't, yeah, but when you don't have the support around you, like, I'm not talking about the support, the moral support from your family or everything, but like hard support,
Well,
stats,
we've
coaches.
talked, yeah, we've talked in the past about that competitive edge, all the different things that teams or organizations are doing. I mean, there's so much technology now as well. There's so many different databases to pull information from. There's just a plethora of ways to approach the game. And you need those support staff around you to be able to get that competitive edge, plus the experience. I mean, I think that Undying, we saw there was a lot of errors made, and things just unraveled, and obviously the big one being the echo slam and the sleep
Oh God,
kind of coinciding.
That was super bad.
So,
That's
but
probably lack of communication in the game as well, and something like that happened in another series, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I even heard, I'm talking about beastcoast alliance game right now, jumping a bit, but because we are talking about that sleeping, echo into sleep intro song, you saw Beast Coast also doing a lot of mistakes, a lot of random, crazy, almost feeding in the early game. And Avo asked Chris Luck in the loser interview, what just happened there? Because this is not you, for sure, you Beast Coast. I mean, you can play better than this. And he was like, sometimes we just forget to communicate. And that was it. No communication in game results, to an awful game like that.
Well, and again, that comes from, the more and more experience that you have. I think, they missed the first LAN, that they were supposed to go to and everything. They were knocked out early at Animajor. They had a year prior to that basically off,
Yeah.
So again, there's a lot that goes along with that. This isn't from one of the teams, but when I had asked Vici Gaming in the press conference, they went in as the third seed for both of the majors. And so they had to play the wild card brackets, then they had to play through the group stages, then they had to play into the main event. And I asked them if they thought that had playing all of those games at majors, at these top levels, had prepared them better for TI. And Old 11 said, nah, it didn't matter. But the rest of the team said, yes, definitely helped with the mentality, with focus, with, being able to get into a certain kind of, mindset and groove and stuff. So, 4 out of the 5 of them did feel that was something that was important, and that they gained a lot from. And I think that's something we're seeing now. Undying didn't go to any of the lands
of the majors. Yeah.
Of the majors, and Beast Coast, like we already said. So definitely there's something to that.
Well, on the positive side, Alliance, who didn't do well at any of the majors, although they were there, they finally get their first victory on the main event. You saw the release, the pressure release and the happiness at the end. They were truly worried, I guess, about that. So,
well, talking about happiness, though, Quincy crew, I think, probably jumped through the roof.
I think I died and I came back, I think 5 times during that game. And man.
Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah, I listened to Quinn again at the post-game interview, and he even said that I was sure we lost. Even them were not even sure anymore about that strat. Yes, that's a highlight for me, that best of one game. If you guys didn't see the game live, go watch a replay. It's crazy Dota. It's what you expect from a best of one at TI. It's worth.
Yeah, definitely is worth checking out. And unfortunately, I would recommend just skipping the EG elephant game. It was, to me, that was just so much of a one-sided stomp that it just kind of was like, all right, hurry up, just end this game. Let's just move on. Let's just go.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see such. I mean, to begin with, these two teams, technically or theoretically, nobody would have put them in the lower bracket, right? And if these two teams would have had different opponents, I'm pretty sure they would have advanced. Not, wouldn't happen like this. But it's heartbreaking to see FY, maybe Eurus, and Young losing like that. And I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, in the press conference, there was definitely a feel to them that you felt like the team itself was pretty dejected. They seemed pretty down. And a lot of the questions talked about, like, what's going wrong, what's happening, and what happened in the season, what's going wrong, what happened with the LGD game, what happened in group stage. And most of their answers were really about, we just weren't on, point. We just weren't in shape. We just didn't, sync. We didn't have chemistry. We didn't mingle well. Like, these are some of the words that they were saying and everything, describing where things went wrong. And although they did say, oh, we're back now and we can do it and we're going to get them.
What can you say?
It wasn't with so much conviction, and you can see that just going into there, they were still, the entire kind of atmosphere was down. So I'm not completely surprised to see what happened. I think once, that the one fight that they lost pretty bad, it was pretty even, and then they lost the fight. And I think that was kind of like, almost like they maybe mentally gave up, because from what they had said already, they just didn't have this chemistry. They just weren't really
I've said this before. I think FY and maybe have already given up mentally to TI8. TI8 after TI8. This, I think, was their last push, and I will not be surprised to see some retirement announcements coming in this shuffle.
Yeah.
Even if it's like Chinese retirement and 3 weeks later they are joining some random team and push through the league. But tomorrow it's another exciting day.
We've got three best of 3 series.
Yes, and Southeast Asia will be in the upper bracket, fighting with the PSG LGD, an enemy that they know very well, right? So predictions?
We already have the SEA haters on us, but I'm gonna still have to go with the LGD on this, because I just think they're on a different level. I really do, and I have LGD to take the whole thing. So I would be going against all my instincts to try to appease the haters right now and say T1, but it's going to be LGD.
Okay, seeing how well Fnatic woke up this morning and how well they did in that one game, best of 1 elimination, and knowing that the PSG LGD T1 have history together. March said at the Animajor that China is the region that they practice the most with. I think they are in another shape right now at TI, prepared differently, and I'm ready to be surprised and see this bracket flipped once again,
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with T1 this time. The other series is Virtus Pro VG Gaming, and this is where I think China will prevail, and it would be more or less a repeat of the Invictus versus Team Spirit story,
Yeah.
It's just Virtus Pro, new guys, fresh minds, great at their first TI. They will do great, perhaps one game, but they will lose.
Right. The experience is definitely going to play against them there, I think, as well. I think you're right. And then we move down to the lower brackets, and that's where we see Fnatic again versus Team Spirit.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Fnatic, because I think they have the momentum right now, right? They just won. They Raven just break a record in TI history today with his Lura, and I think he can do it. He can carry, further in this in this lower bracket, the team.
Yeah, I'll agree on that one. I'm same there. And then we have OG versus Quincy crew.
Ben, this is interesting. So, at TI8, Quincy crew were back then VGJ Storm. They topped the group and they picked OG because OG was this ultimate underdog. Nobody even knew who is Thompson, right? Or Anna.
Right.
And they picked OG. OG trashed them in the upper bracket. Then Quincy crew got eliminated right after in the lower bracket. At TI9, OG wins the group and picks Quincy crew, who back then were newbie, right? Again, they beat them in in the upper bracket first round, and now it's OG Quincy crew, but in the lower bracket, nobody picks. It's just fate.
Yeah. So,
it's hard for me to say.
Change it this time.
I think. I mean, it's possible. It's very possible. Third time to be, with the charm. What we've seen from OG today wasn't super convincing at all, I'd say. So I don't know. It's TI, and anything can happen. And I think again, these teams that just won the best of one, they carry momentum with them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I think Quincy crew definitely has the ability to make a lot of trouble for OG tomorrow, especially if they show up like they did today and OG shows up like they did today. But I have a hard time believing OG in a best of 3 series won't be able to take at least the 2 victories enough to move forward. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll still be OG in the end moving forward, but I think it's going to be a fun series, or I think it has the potential to be a very fun series. So maybe we'll get to at least end tomorrow on a higher note than we ended tonight.
No, it was a fun first day, great games, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
We're TI, so it's
happening.
Yeah, it's finally here. It's happening, and it felt like it. So let's see what they got planned for us tomorrow.
All right, we're gonna end here, guys. If you want, give us your predictions in the comments below for tomorrow, and see you some other time.